10 Signs of Dark Age. 10. Social media censorship. Twitter has as of late declared another instrument in their battle against free discourse and the quest for insight, individual by individual blocking. The new setting will permit clients to choose who can and can't answer to their tweets. As it were, you can minister a whole discussion where just those individuals who concur with your point will be obvious to anybody perusing. Facebook is currently adding warnings to specific presence on caution individuals that they may contain bogus data in any event, when they don't, and Instagram is erasing posts that may make offense a few people. 9. Suppression of speakers on campuses. The right to speak freely of discourse incorporates the option to fight discourse you can't help contradicting. The individuals who punch protesters at rallies can no more profess to help free discourse than Lenin could profess to help private enterprise. Be that as it may, there's practicing your fair option to dissent, and afterward utilizing option to totally close down the perspectives you're challenging. As of late, it appears that protesters are pointing exclusively for the last mentioned. Creating a domain your rival is reluctant to enter appears to have truly taken off around 2013. Before that, fights at grounds once in a while obstructed a welcome speaker from joining in. Today, you find out about dropped addresses with mind-desensitizing consistency. 8. YouTube censorship. The men behind the drapery at Google have chosen to spare us from ourselves and stifle fear-inspired notions and other substance they detest. Their explanation is that they are keeping us from being deceived. That positively infers a fantastically astute statement by T.S. Eliot: the greater part of the malevolence in this world is finished by individuals with sincere goals. The inspiration of Google, in the event that it is valid, can appear to be from idealistic beginnings. However, there is one issue: paranoid fears are regularly obvious. For instance, Project MKUltra, the appalling CIA mind control try. What's more, shouldn't something be said about the hypothesis that help for the Iraq War was dishonestly made because of lies about infants being tossed from hatcheries? 7. Google search destruction. Over the most recent 3 decades we have given over the curation of the abundance of human information to an organization that had the proverb, "Don't be malevolent," until 2018 when it discreetly positioned it in the last sentence of its implicit rules, presently only a bit of hindsight. The most recent 2 years have seen Google dynamically obliterate the nature of its query items, first filling them with supported posts and now, as of May 2020, apparently supplanting the whole list with results that give Google and its companions money-related help during coronavirus. 6. Chained Bibles. Recollect the tied Bibles from the last Dark Ages? Clue: they were tied up in light of the fact that they were staggeringly important, not to stop individuals understanding them. Learn to expect the unexpected. They're returning. As Google has started what is by all accounts its last assault against little and medium data sites and YouTubers, more data is either vanishing or is being bolted behind paywalls and membership models. When all the best substance is bolted away, we will have at last arrived at where the web is the specific inverse of what it was intended to be. Rather than the dispersal of data to the entire world for nothing, paid for by advertisements clearly, we will have a firmly bolted vault of information for just the individuals who can bear to understand it. Furthermore, in contrast to the Bible in the Middle Ages, we don't have web ministers who can peruse it to us consistently. This really is the purposeful evacuation of learning for everything except a world-class rich. What's more, incidentally, this isn't just about little sites and designers. 5. Joe Rogan, Spotify. The greatest name in podcasting has recently declared that he is moving to Spotify where, for the bother of tuning into an advertisement, you can get to his web recordings. He is most likely the main huge name to disclose to Google he won't endure their oversight. As of recently, Rogan was gaining $36 million every year for his digital broadcasts with Google, however Spotify baited him in with a guarantee of $100 million. It is no big surprise he is eager to face the challenge and move to a paid assistance. It is extraordinary for Joe as far as oversight, until Spotify gets purchased by Google or starts to actualize its own limitations on content. It does, in any case, serve to show us exactly how prohibitive access to data will turn into. 4. Wayback Machine censorship. Who controls the past? Ran the party trademark, controls the future. Who controls the current controls the past. These words from George Orwell's startlingly perceptive novel 1984 sound valid especially today. The Wayback Machine or Internet Archive is an astonishing website with depictions of most pieces of the Internet returning decades. It has, on numerous events, been utilized to uncover misleading altering from the predominant press. Be that as it may, tragically it has now brought a risky turn down the dull street of oversight. As of late, the Wayback Machine started denoting certain file pages as disinformation, especially as it identifies with the coronavirus. It is retroactively expressing that verifiable news or occasions were false. It is just a short time before they begin erasing the first substance itself or supplanting deception with realities as controlled by anonymous movers off camera. 3. Free discussion in science. Researchers and specialists are presently routinely terminated for revelations or in any event, upholding speculations that are currently regarded in opposition to thoughts demonstrated by logical accord, argumentum promotion veracundum anybody. The dread of causing offense, or more regrettable, making offense those with uproarious online networking existences, is to a great extent behind this loathsome circumstance. Researchers ought not be smothered, and it doesn't make a difference how hostile their revelations or perspectives, they ought to be put out in the outside air for banter. On the off chance that we are not permitted to contend against thoughts, in what capacity can we really demonstrate them to not be right, or to demonstrate their inverse to be valid? 2. Zombie apocalypse. The main thing I did when New Zealand shops and eateries reopened after the coronavirus lockdown was go through the day in the city perusing the shops and eating with companions. Under the new precautionary measures that permit us to keep everything open, a few shops need to confine the all-out number of clients inside their stores at some random time. This has prompted lines outside a large number of our fundamental shops, lines any semblance of which one regularly would just find in socialist or communist countries. Wellington City has no shopping centers, so the boulevards are currently loaded up with individuals pleasantly holding up outside stores while gazing at sparkling telephone screens in their grasp. It occurred to me, the zombie end of the world isn't something from a blood and gore film or TV arrangement, it is here this moment. Rather than talking and sharing our encounters and information, rather than perusing a book or even a magazine, individuals are messing around or watching recordings on YouTube, the ones Google hasn't stifled at this point. This is the zombie end of the world, and it is intentional. Until you see a city road brimming with individuals with empty appearances gazing intently at, you can't genuinely acknowledge how sickening this truly is. As unreservedly as we have decided to decimate our cerebrums along these lines, we should likewise uninhibitedly decide to stop. At this phase appears to be far-fetched. I trust I am off base. 1. Historical places vanishes. Social distancing will have numerous genuine thump on impacts that are unexpected. With certain spots previously prohibiting money because of paper being such a decent transporter for the infection, it is conceivable to believe that foundations of human information, for example, libraries and, to a lesser degree, exhibition halls, may in the end additionally be covered for the sake of open well-being. This would be mostly sensible if not for the way that the remainder of the things on this rundown are additionally happening simultaneously. When all locales are gone with the exception of the profoundly sketchy Wikipedia toward the finish of Google's Pursuit Holocaust, we could get ourselves at long last untethered from the mutual pool of information on our progenitors whereupon we have manufactured our astonishing and brilliant society.